So good evening to one and all present here. A warm welcome to our beloved principal sir, Dr. S. Santosh Babu sir, our honorable resource person, Mrs. Revati Vadarajan ma'am, our HOD in charge ma'am, Mrs. A. Vijay Lakshmi ma'am, and to all the committee members, staff, and all the students present here. I am Avinash, the President of Computer Science Department. I am very glad to invite you all to this webinar conducted by the Transport Forum of TGVC College, Computer Science Department. This webinar is about artificial intelligence, which is going to be taken by our honorable resource person, Ms. Revati Vajrajan ma'am. So we are very happy to have you, ma'am. Thank you for coming. Um, and now I kindly request our HOD in charge, Ms. A. Vijayalakshmi ma'am, to address the gathering.
Yes.
Yeah,
Good evening, everyone. Yes. Good evening, everyone. On behalf of the faculty members and the Students Forum Transcode, I feel immense pleasure to welcome our respected principal, Captain Dr. S. Santosh Babu sir, for this event. Welcome you, sir. And I feel honored to welcome our resource person, Mrs. Revati Varadarajan, Delivery Manager of TCS, for her acceptance to deliver us a session on artificial intelligence. Thank you, ma'am, and welcome you. And my sincere thanks to our management, our honorable secretary, and our respected principal for giving us this fine opportunity to conduct such events. Thank you, sir. May I request our respected principal to explore his valuable views about this event. Please, sir.
Good evening. First, I like to Revati Varadarajan, Delivery Manager of TCS, for accepting the invitation by us to give a lecture on artificial intelligence. And also, I like to thank the head in charge Vijay Lakshmi and Sudha for organizing this program.
Thank you,
And
sir.
also the Students Forum Transcode is doing a very good job for the past weeks. Every week on Saturdays, we have one webinar conducted successfully through this Transcode, which is very important for the students' curriculum. As far as the artificial intelligence is concerned, each and every person will have an intelligence which will make a decision. For every decision, you will be having a rules. For each rules, according to the satisfaction, action will be taken. So what the artificial intelligence will do is, it's like a machine learning option through which we have to train the machine in such a way that you have to give all rules and action to the system. Whenever the instant happens, based on the instant, the corresponding action will be coming automatically without the human intervention. So this is the purpose. This is working on various areas like automobile engineering, in home, in construction engineering, in manufacturing engineering, where you know very well that previously when you buy a car, doing a service is a complicated one. Now it is not like that. The latest system where the microprocessor controlled artificial intelligence chips are available in a car. So once the car is connected to the computer will tell that where the problem arises. So based on the problem, the car will be rectified. So where the human brain is not necessary to identify the repair or identify the problem in a car, where the artificial intelligence is used for identifying the problem in the car. This is one example I like to give. Like this, it is like writing a code or using a tool. Lot of tools available, open source tools is available that can be linked together to solve the particular problem. Or otherwise, you can design your own code and you can give the solution for a particular application and without human intervention. So that is the main purpose of this artificial intelligence. The AI was started in 1970s itself, especially in the medical field. Initially, it was taken as artificial intelligence and expert system. It was done in 1970s itself, and slowly it moved from medical field to all the fields. And now AI plays an important role in the society, and where we need more programmers for AI programmers. And with these few words, once again, I like to congratulate the computer science department for conducting this webinar, and also welcome the chief guest of this program for this webinar. Thank you very much for giving me opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the wonderful introduction. So my now request President Mr. Avinash to proceed with.
Yeah, okay, ma'am. So before getting into the webinar, I would like to give a brief introduction about our resource person. So once again, we are welcoming Mrs. Revathi Varadarajan, ma'am. So she is a conceptual thinker and experienced in architecture and delivery management in the banking and finance space in Tata Consulting Service, so popularly known as TCS. So being an outgoing, clear and articulate speaker, she enjoys people's interaction, design, end-to-end solutions, building design and development terms, energizing trending concepts and superior stockholder management. So she has been working as a delivery manager in technology and innovation group with experience on solution architecture, building team ground up, KPI driven delivery, sales and innovation. So she specialized in working with senior technologists and portfolio heads to deliver large scale projects in banking and finance industry with focus on business and technology strategy. She has an experience of 17 plus years in TCS, delivery leadership, project and program management, governance, solutions architecture, technical design, and developing enterprise solution and architecture for retail banks. So she's experienced in creating RFP and RFI, key decision maker in evaluating RFP for major initiatives. So she is a lead solution architect, delivery manager, program manager, and a senior developer in developing market trending products, bank acquisition, and digital transformation. So she has also led many technology decisions and product selections to robust evaluations, have done a lot of proof of concepts to prove the business case as well to evaluate product fitness up to the requirements. She is also directly involved in defining and reviewing product evaluation criteria, enterprise and application architecture, non-functional requirements, setting measurement criteria, standards, and best practices for the implementation. So now we are going to see about the specialities. So she is also specialized in leading and implementation large-scale enterprise end-to-end solution and project delivery, focus on business and technology strategy. So solution and technology architecture and design, technical leadership, technical strategy and planning, project management and execution, client management, cost proposal, coding, innovations. So these are the areas which she is specialized in. So once again, we are really happy to have you, ma'am. Thank you for accepting our request and accepting to take this webinar on artificial intelligence. So I hope this is going to be a really interactive and awesome webinar, which all the students will really understand few things about artificial intelligence and come to know more about it. So we can begin with the seminar if you are ready. So we can go with the seminar.
Right. Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Avinash. That was a wonderful introduction.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Yeah. I'd like to thank DG Vaishnava College principals, Dr. Santosh, Secretary Sir, Mr. Ashok, Head in Charge Ma'am Vijay Lakshmi, and Secretary Ma'am Sudha. Thank you for organizing such a forum for your students, and thank you for giving me this platform to share my experience to the upcoming generation. And I appreciate the management, first of all, for taking such an initiative to provide an insightful learning for your students. Thank you so much. This is an excellent initiative. Right. A moment of applause to the entire management. Right. So today's topic is artificial intelligence. So as your principal sir said, it is artificial intelligence, as the topic says, the intelligence. In the world, intelligent is meant only for human. And when it says artificial, right? So artificial intelligence is all about mimicking the human intelligence to artificially to the machine. So that is artificial intelligence. So let me go and do the presentation. I do have a presentation.
Yeah, okay, ma'am.
Hope you are able to see my presentation. Let me know when you are able to see my presentation.
Yeah, ma'am, we can see it.
Yes,
right?
it's visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So yeah. So the next 50 minutes, what we are going to focus on is the artificial intelligence, the history of artificial intelligence, and what is AI, what are the types of AI, and deep dive into the types of AI. And there is a concept of deep learning and natural language processing as well. So this is what we are going to look at. Avinash, I'm not sure. I kind of wanted this particular forum to be interactive because I am a person who kind of always makes a session interactive with the students.
Yeah, ma'am.
So
Okay.
I would be asking Q&A in between the sessions. Say for example, after 10 slides or 5 slides, I would put up a question.
Yeah, that's
So I would
obviously fine,
request.
ma'am.
Yeah, so I would request you to coordinate for a couple of maximum 3 hand raises alone to answer the
Okay.
question. And at the
Okay.
end, whoever kinds of answers many questions, you can probably give them the on the spot award, right?
Yeah.
Avinash?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
that is a request from my end because I'm a person who always interacts with people. I can't do a monopoly. I can't just sit and talk for 1 hour. Yeah,
Okay. So I'll just give an information to the students once again
sure.
before going. So guys, there will be questions ma'am will be asking in between. So please don't hesitate to answer it. Just raise your hand. So and you can unmute yourself, unmute your video, and then answer the questions. So those who are answering for most of the questions, so you'll get a certificate hopefully. So don't hesitate yourself. Okay, ma'am.
All
Now
right.
you can start, ma'am. Yeah.
Thank you, Avinash.
Okay.
Right. Going into artificial intelligence, right? Artificial intelligence is going to be the future of this world. AI is going to drive the economy. For believe me, it's not a myth. It's a true statement. So now let's look at the AI history, right? I'm not sure if anybody has learned about Talos. Talos is a bronze warrior, was programmed classical ages ago, right? And it was meant to guard the Greek island called Crete, right, from the pirates and Europeans. So sometimes it is also being considered as a myth, but the concept of AI, which is the artificial intelligence, is in existence from the classical ages, right? And in 1950, Alan Turing published his speculation about machine learning can think. He can make a machine think. It was a paper that was published by Alan Turing in 1950. And in 1951, there was a game AI, which is predominantly Chris Tashi wrote a checker program, and Dietrich Prince wrote a program for chess. So chess AI gaming program was invented in 1951. In 1956 is called the year of birth of artificial intelligence. And a person named John McCarthy, he coined the name called artificial intelligence, right? So the first lab for AI was built in the year 1959. This lab is called MIT AI Lab. And this year was considered to be an era of research for AI, or it can also be said that this is where AI really began, right? Moving further on the history, in 1960s, the robotics was invented. The General Motor robotics was introduced. And in 1961, the first chatbot was invented, wherein the customer service is being automated. But now in India, we are predominantly using chatbot at this point in time. In 1961, we never knew that. And this particular chatbot was called Eliza, right? And in 1977, the IBM Deep Blue. This is again a chess game which beats the world champion Gary Kasparov, right? So the AI was excellent in the year 1997 in order to beat the world champion in the game of chess, right? Moving further, not sure if you're able to hear me.
Yeah, ma'am. We can hear you. You're audible.
Right. Okay. I thought my laptop got stuck in between. All right. So
But
in
it's quite
2001,
low, ma'am. It's quite low.
low meaning
So the volume is low. The volume is low.
my volume is low. Is it? Just a minute.
Yeah.
Is it any better now?
Yeah, ma'am. So I think it's
Oh,
okay. Yeah, okay, ma'am.
Yeah, stop me whenever I'm not audible or you find any disturbance, because
Yeah, okay.
I'm sitting in a room. I don't know who are listening to my conversation. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's
stop
okay.
me whenever you want, Avinash. All right. Okay. In
Sure.
2005 was the robotic car, which again, this was AI-driven robotic car, which won the DARPA Grand Challenge. And in the year 2011, IBM Q&A, it's what it was called Watson. This won the two great Jeopardy champions in the year 2011. So, by looking at the history, you might now come to know that for sure AI is in existence for more than 3, 4, 5, 6 decades, right? More than 50, 70 years ago. But now, why is it getting traction? Is something we will look into it in a while. But before that, I just wanted to call about the artificial intelligence domains. So the domain of artificial intelligence has many subsets. One is machine learning, and the subset of machine learning is deep learning. That is the predominant concept, or at the high levels, that's what is being defined in the industry. But there are multiple domains within artificial intelligence which support the machine to act like a human. First is machine learning. It is a subset of artificial intelligence, as I said before, and it provides the computer algorithm that improves the automaticity of the machine through the experience that it gains from the data that we give. So it can predict the outcome by using the data that we give. So there is a data analytics that is being involved, right? So the next is deep learning. Deep learning is another subset of machine learning, and it is more to mimic the human neural network that can learn and make intelligent decisions. Like your principal sir initially said, that artificial intelligence is all about making decisions by using the data. So deep learning kind of gives us the algorithms, the better algorithms to make such decisions, just like the human make decisions. Right. The next one is artificial natural language processing. This also provides a lot of algorithms to understand and manipulate the human languages, voice recognition, and image processing, and so on and so forth. Going forward is knowledge base. Knowledge base is all about data. So for machine to learn, you need to provide a lot of data. Only then the machine can train the models and give the desired outcome. So the expert system is the algorithms that we are talking about. There are a lot of algorithms in terms of machine learning, and also deep learning, and also in terms of natural language processing. Right. So moving further, next is the computer vision. So computer vision is all about reading the image. When we look at the image, what do we do? Like when we look at the image, we can say that particular image is a person, or it is what object it is, like, right? So we humans can read the image. So likewise, if you want to make the computer to read the image, the computer vision is required. Correct. So going forward, why is the demand of AI? I initially put up this question. So the AI is in existence since the classical ages of 1951 and so on and so forth. But why is it taking traction now? So, for example, 2 decades ago, while taking a picture of yourself, you will have to walk to a photo studio, right? In my childhood, I still remember that we used to take a family photo every year, walking to a photo studio, because we wanted to have a family image. But now, will you walk to a photo studio in order to take a family photo? No, right? This is a selfie world. You can click a pic anywhere, everywhere, whenever you want, right? So that is the power of GPU, which is the graphical processing unit, right? So next is big data. Big data is availability of data which is in the world in terms of the social media and also the smart devices. So the availability of data helps machine learning to give better outcome. Next is the algorithm. As I said before, there are a lot of algorithms available in the market which is speculated to the machine learning and also deep learning in order to give a better desired outcome. And finally, the large investments, the market trends, the largest banks and the largest top companies in the world are investing on AI. If you look at 2020, artificial intelligence percentage is 46% when compared to all other technology investment. So definitely artificial intelligence is going to take this world forward for sure. Okay, so I'm going to pass now, Avinash. Let's take a Q&A now, right?
Okay.
So
Yeah. Okay, ma'am.
yeah, I'll first raise a question and then you can check who is raising the hands to answer the question, right?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Question number 1. Which year is called the year of artificial intelligence or the birth of artificial intelligence?
Let's see if anyone's raising their hands.
Which year is called the birth of artificial intelligence? Okay, we got a answer 1951.
Yeah, ma'am.
Let's park that for now. Right? Any other question?
Anyone else?
All right.
1959.
1959. All right. Okay. Let's park the answer. One more. I'll just go for one more. Guys, I want the session to be interactive.
1975.
1975. Gandhi. All right.
1955. 1961.
Right. Enough. So I'll just go to the next question. Who coined the name AI? I think the later. Avinash, just take the top 5. Avinash, don't take the more than 5 answers,
Okay,
because they would have probably Googled it. I don't want to go and Google the answer and
yeah, the following answers are same.
Correct. Yeah. So they would have Googled it now. Okay.
Yeah.
Who coined the name artificial intelligence? Someone has already answered it. So let's stop the game now. Yeah. Let's move on the presentation. I'll put up my presentation now. Just a minute. Okay, it was year 1956, correct?
60.
And it was John 56, and it is John McCarthy who coined the name artificial intelligence, and he has developed it using a program called LISP. Correct? And for him, he has defined artificial intelligence as science and engineering of making machine intelligent. Avinash, I just wanted to give you an instruction. So out of that answers that you have got, take up the top 5, and
Okay,
whoever
ma'am.
has answered 1956 and John McCarthy, they are the winners for this particular.
Okay, ma'am.
All right.
Okay.
I'll move on.
Okay.
So what is AI? Correct. So AI is a wide range of branch of computer science concerned with building smart machines capable of performing tasks that are typically requires human intelligence. That's what artificial intelligence is all about. So taking an example in the motor field, this is all about image detection. So the number plates can be detected on the road. Maybe in case if you are speeding your car, you can get a speeding ticket by detecting your number plate. Or in the malls, the number plate can be detected just to keep a register of which vehicle has come in and went out. And now it is the world of Alexa, right? Everybody talks about Alexa, right? The moment you log into Amazon, you see Alexa. There are a lot of virtual assistant applications like Siri, Cortana, Alexa, and Google Assistant. What they do is like they virtually assist you by using the data that it has about your personal information, your interest in everything, and also it kind of recognize your speech. Correct. Next is robotics. Robotics is used in almost all the manufacturing industries. The example that I have just showed is about the car manufacturing industry, but the AI is used in many manufacturing industries. So it is also used in healthcare, marketing, robotics, analytics, and many more. Right. So the real world examples of AI. The moment you go into Google and you just type a word, right? Immediately Google gives you a suggestion. You know where it comes from? It comes from AI. It is based on your browser history. It is based on your personality. It is based on your interest, and it requires, in order to give the suggestions of your next word, it requires all of these data, like your browser history, your personal details, and your interest and everything. And then it uses the machine learning, deep learning, neural network, and NLP in order to give you that particular suggestion. So the next real world example is banking and finance industries. It's wherein they use a document processing system. So when you go and ask for a loan, right, you give a lot of evidence about yourself, your payslip, of course you might have not gone to a bank asking for a loan, but your parents would have your payslip and your address of evidence, your employment and everything. So there is a lot of paper document that is involved for the bank to process before it gives you the loan. So AI can automate this particular activity in a minute second. Whereas if you do it in manually, for processing 12,000 loan document, it takes 36,000 hours for 200 employees. But whereas when you use AI, it can be probably done in a second or a minute. Next, going to the real world example is the healthcare. So in the labs, right, the analytic data can be used to predict and diagnose the patient conditions. For example, your blood tests and everything. If it can contain all the data that is available, with the amount of data, the machine can easily predict the patient condition. And also in your diagnosis, you can look at the picture, the previous image of before AI and after AI, how it shows on the Watson genomic analytics, right? So Watson platform is used in healthcare for almost like 230 healthcare organizations are using IBM Watson. And IBM Watson kind of uses 200 million customer patients data in order for the positive outcome, and in order for the negative outcomes, it also has 100 million de-identified patient records in order to do the predictive analysis for diagnosing the treatment. So the next real world is the Google AI algorithm for identifying the heart disease by looking at your eyes. The man in the picture is someone who does not need an introduction, so I don't need to tell you what he's I don't need to tell you who he is, but he is explaining about the product that Google has launched. By looking at the retina of the eye, it can detect the person's age, it can detect the blood pressure, it can detect whether the person is a smoker or he is a non-smoker, and it can also predict whether he is suffering from any major cardiac event. So the image that you see, the orange one is the typical retina of the eye, and the gray one kind of shows the blood flow. So what the machine does, it identifies the pattern of the blood flow, and with the pattern, with the number of data that it has collected from multiple patients, it can detect the age and blood pressure and everything, right? And the application uses around 300 million patients record to predict this for machine learning. And the next is the social media, right? You're all youngsters, you will be using social media. The moment you upload a photo on the Facebook page, right, immediately it gives you suggestion to tag your friend. How it does is it uses machine learning to recognize the face of the person. And do you know that there are 42% of the world population is now on social media, right? And on LinkedIn, where the moment you kind of upload your profile on LinkedIn kind of keeps giving you job recommendation based on your interest and your profile. So that is again uses the machine learning and deep learning to do this. Then is the Snapchat. You can do all sort of funny faces on this particular app, which uses the machine learning and then the AI filters in order to do all of this stuff. So the next one is Twitter. Twitter, what it does is like it kinds of reads all the messages and identifies the threat alert on the terrorism. So the company says that it has stopped around 274,000 accounts were permanently suspended in order for promoting the terrorism. So this is the level of data that is being used in the market for identifying the threats using the artificial intelligence. So the next one is the real world applications, which is the virtual assistants. You all know that the virtual assistant is now the trending in the market. All of these applications that I'm showing, the Amazon Alexa, the Google Assistant, the Cortana, all of this. What it does is like it assists you. The moment you say Alexa, switch on the light, provided your light is a smart light, it can speak to the smart light and switch on the light or switch off the light. And the moment you say that, Alexa, tell me what is the weather condition, Alexa is going to give you the weather condition. So what it does is it recognizes your speech and then it processes the data, and it has a lot of data in it so that it gives you the response accordingly. Correct? So what it uses? It uses machine learning, deep learning. I think somebody has to go on mute. People who are not speaking, please go on mute. I feel some disturbance.
Sudha ma'am. And the sounds coming from your device, ma'am. Sudha ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, ma'am, you can proceed.
Yeah, let me know, Avinash, if you're able to see my screen.
Yeah, ma'am,
Right.
it's visible. Yeah.
So the virtual assistant application uses machine learning, deep learning, neural network, and natural language processing. Predominantly, it uses speech recognition in order to interact with the users, right? The next one is the Google Duplex. This is trending in the market, right? The moment you call up a call center, you really don't know whether you are speaking to a human or you're speaking to an automated message. That is how Google Duplex is responding to calls. It can book an appointment. It can add a human touch to the conversation that you are doing. It can add sentiments. It can feel it. So it has gone to next level in terms of artificial intelligence assistance, right? So the next one is the driverless or the self-drive car. You might have heard about this. There are a couple of companies who are giving the driverless or self-drive cars. So what it uses is it uses the computer vision to detect the image in front of the car and also behind the car. And the machine learning detects the objects, obstacles, and signals, and so on and so forth. And the pros of self-driving car is like the accidents caused by human errors such as drunken drive, speeding, and distraction in driving can be avoided. And driverless car can make life easier. And the time on the road and gas usage and traffic jam can be decreased is what is being claimed. And the cons to be addressed in the driverless car or the self-learning is the risk of car being hacked. It will become like a computer, right? Just like you get a hacker can hack your computer, they can hack the car as well. And it's just like on your computer, you get some computer glitches. Your software can run weird at some point in time, or there can be some technical glitches. In the same way, there can be some technical glitches on the driverless car as well, which might cause accidents. And driving in bad weather is still to be addressed, right? So moving further, YouTube. You are the young generation who are fond of YouTube. So whenever you use YouTube, after you kind of see a video, the next video comes up, right? So what it uses is like it uses your interest, your browser history, and then it recommends your video. And what it does is uses its machine learning, and it also provides advertisements based on your interest and based on your browser history and everything. Say for example, you go and type artificial intelligence on YouTube, the next ad you will get is about artificial intelligence certificate or Python certificate and things like that. So it kind of interacts with you. And YouTube is also going to bring up a restriction with respect to the age so that it supports a kid using these smart devices. The next is Gmail, the ultimate example. So every day you log in into your Gmail, you see hundreds of scam emails, right? So how does Google scams or classifies the email as a scam email is by using AI and ML capability in means of classifying your emails by looking at the word like lottery, full refund, and some blocklisted email IDs. Those emails are being tagged as scam. And off late, you can also see that your emails are classified as social, promotion, and scam, right? So again, these labels on the mail on the email are again tagged or labeled using the artificial intelligence capability, right? So before I move on to the next topic, the types of AI, I'm done with the examples. So let's go into Q&A, Avinash.
Yeah, ma'am.
Hope you are ready. So the question is, all the virtual assistant applications that you saw, right? The Siri, the Alexa, all of this uses what feature to assist or interact with the user?
Voice recognition.
Correct. That's right. That's right. I'll just move on to the next topic then.
Okay.
That's right. Good. Next topic is types of AI, right? So there are a lot of types of artificial intelligence. The first artificial intelligence is artificial narrow intelligence. This is called stage 1, which is also uses the machine learning concepts, but it kind of specializes in one particular area, or it kind of solves only one particular problem. Like example, Siri, Alexa, and Cotton. So immediately when I asked what Alexa is using in order to interact with the user, Avinash has just said that voice recognition, right? So it is using one particular area of interest to interact with the customer. So this is called a weak AI or the narrow AI. At this point in time in the world, we are in the era of stage 1 of artificial intelligence. So the next one is artificial general intelligence, which is also called as AGI. This is stage 2 of machine learning, where the computer is as smart as human. Like whatever activities that we do, the machine can also do. This is also called as a strong AI. It will have a capability to reasonably think like a human. For example, is the AlphaGo Zero application, which kinds of plays in the AlphaGo game. Right, there is a robot which has won the AlphaGo game, beating the world champion. Right. So the third stage is artificial super intelligence. This is it's a much advanced version of artificial intelligence, where artificial intelligence or robotics will surpass the human brain, right? So this is a kind of an advanced stage which we are still speculating, but all the social media users, right, you might be aware of a robot which was introduced called Sophia. So this is almost into the ASI mode of artificial intelligence. And there is a speculation by 2040, AI will rule the world, is the speculation at this point in time, right? So now we saw about what is artificial intelligence, the examples of artificial intelligence, and the types of artificial intelligence. Now let's look at the programming languages of artificial intelligence. There are 5 best programming. There are a lot of programming languages. I would just call out 5 best programming languages, which is one is Python. Python is the most effective and famous for artificial intelligence. Many data scientists recommend Python, and you know that the syntax are considerably easy in Python, and machine learning algorithms can be implemented easily in Python. The next one is R, which is the statistical programming language. This kind of helps in doing a lot of analysis and performing statistical predictions. And it is easy to create like publication quality plots. Since it is R, right, there is also visualization R. So it can kind of give a huge display of the data in terms of dashboard and things like that. And it uses statistics behind the screen. And the next is Java. I don't need to introduce what Java is since it is the IT department which I'm speaking to. So the search of algorithm and neural network using the Java, or leveraging the Java would be pretty easy, and debugging will be easy, and it kind of provides good user experience. Next is Scala. Scala is considered to be 10 times faster than Python, but Scala also uses the GVMs during the runtime, which also makes it faster than Python in most cases, right? And last is Rust. This is the most loved programming language in the Stack of Overflow developer survey. There was a survey that was taken, but it has its own restriction. So if you ask me what I would recommend as a programming language for artificial intelligence is Python, because it's good for small and medium scale projects to build the models, to analyze the data, and it is pretty typically faster. You can do a time to market even quicker, right? Whereas Scala or Java, this can be used for robust programming, or wherein you have many developers working on a project. I wanted to build a super computer kind of a product. Then you can go for Scala or Java. And R, as I said before, it is very good at statistical predictions, but it does not provide a wide range of operations just the way that Python does. So on and above everything, all of this programming language, if you ask me what I would suggest, is Python at this point in time. Maybe later R would take over. We don't know what is going to take over what, but now at this point in time, it is Python, right? So the next is introduction to machine learning. Machine learning is actually a subset of artificial intelligence, because artificial intelligence is all about sensing, reasoning, acting, and adopting. So in order to do all of these actions like sensing, reasoning, acting, and adopting, it needs algorithms. So there are machine learning algorithms and there are deep learning algorithms. Now let's look at the machine learning algorithms. How does the machine learning algorithm works is like it requires a lot of data. So the data is needed. Based on the data, it trains the machine, it creates a module, and then it predicts the outcome. Correct? Why machine learning? Why not something else? So machine learning, as I said, it can use a lot of data, right? So having cloud computing now, there is lots and lots of data available in the world using the cloud technology and Internet of Things. Any smart devices and any smart applications that you use in a day-to-day life is Internet of Things. It gives a lot of data. A lot of data is being generated. And on the social media sites, right? Any social media site that you use, there is a lot of data being generated. Over 2.5 quintillion bytes of data is being created every single day, and it's going to grow more. And it is estimated that 1.7 MB of data will be created every second for every person on Earth. So every time I click on a smart device, every time I log in into internet, every time I use any smart applications, I am generating data, right? So that data should be used in the business in order to grow business and in order to make a better decision, right? So that is the need for machine learning, I would say, right? So this is the typical way the machine learning can be represented. So there is a lot of increase in the data generation, and using the data, you can provide an improved decision making. And using the improved decision making, what you kind of give out is you give a lot of patterns and a lot of trends. So using this improved decisioning and creating a lot of patterns and trends, what you do is you are solving a complex problem, right? Why are we doing this? We are doing this in order to help the business grow and find solution to the problem when using mass data in the world. And then you can use the data in the more structured way to provide user information from the data. And then you can create better business decisions by using the algorithms, like the downfall of stock market, and there is risk associated with the business and things like that can be predicted. Rather than being reactive, we can be much more proactive on the business end. And then machine learning will help finding the patterns and extracting the key information from the data. And ML is also used for solve the problems at ages, and it can predict and reinvent and everything. It can do everything in the minutes fractions, I would say, right? So what is machine learning? Machine learning is it is about the data, and how the data is being processed is what is called the machine learning. I will just explain that in a minute. So the step one of machine learning is define the objective of the problem. For example, you are being asked to predict the possibility of rain by studying the weather. So what would you do? Immediately you will go and study the information that is available about the weather. For example, you will study the humidity level, you will study the temperature, pressure, and you will collect the data. And after you collect the data, what you do is like you prepare the data. There can be redundant data. Say, for example, if I'm collecting for 24 hours, in a 24 hours in a day, for almost like 5 hours, the temperature and humidity remains the same. There is no variation in the temperature and humidity. So it is kind of redundant data. So I can just remove the data and have just one instant of that particular data. So that is about preparing the data and cleaning the data. And next is the data exploration. So now you become a detective at this stage. What you do is like using this particular data, you understand the variables and you try to identify the rise and fall of the temperature, rise and fall of the weather condition, and rise and fall of everything, the pressure in the sea level and things like that. And then moving further, what you do is like you build a module. When you build a module, the machine learning is used in order to create use the algorithms like linear regression, decision trees, and there are much more algorithms available in the market. So in order to build the model, what you do is like you split the data that you have created using 80% of the data just to build the model, and then 20% of the data for testing purpose. So you need more data to train the model than to test the model. Right. The next one is model evaluation. So you need to evaluate the model that you have created. So use the remaining 20% of the data and then test the model. And when you test the model, you kind of provide the confidence score, the accuracy level of your prediction using the data, because it is 80% of the data that you use in order to define something. So remaining 20% in which you can say whether or not the particular prediction is right or wrong. So that is what you do in the model evaluation. And finally, you predict what is the outcome, correct? So this is what is machine learning is all about. Next is types of machine learning. There are 3 types of machine learning: supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and reinforcement learning. So the first one is supervised learning. When it comes to supervised learning, the data, the input data that you get will be labeled. So it kind of uses the regression algorithm, right? So you can look at this particular picture where the input data is labeled. You can have n number of images of Tom, and you can have n number of images of Jerry, right? Right, but it is labeled. So it is just an image, but you just put it in terms of the other product. Say, for example, I'm giving you a bank statement, correct? So when I give you a bank statement, I give you the label for the bank statement. Say, for example, account number, and then I have the account number value tagged to that particular label. And then I have the name of the name of the customer. Then I have the value is nothing but my name. So similarly, anything that you process, if you have a label for your input, it is coming under the supervised learning. And after that, the cleaning the data and then exploring the data and adding algorithms and then doing a model evaluation is typically what we saw in the previous slide about what this machine learning is all about. So you do all that process, like you clean the data, you explore the data, you apply the algorithm, and then you evaluate the model, and finally you give the output labeled output, which is classified as Jerry or it is classified as Tom. So you get a labeled data, you do the processing, and you give the labeled outcome as the supervised learning. So the next one is unsupervised learning, wherein you do not know what is your input, right? So your input is not labeled. You don't know what input you have been given. So you kind of identify the images and detect by looking at the feature and everything, and you identify what it is. Correct. So when you identify, you are not saying that this is cat or this is dog or this is Tom or this is Jerry. You are not doing that. But what you're doing is you're categorizing it or you're clustering the output. Say, for example, the unlabeled structure, you have Tom and then you have Jerry. You identify the patterns in the images or the colors or the features or whatever it is, and then you kind of cluster it. So that is unsupervised learning, right? So next one is the reinforcement learning. Reinforcement learning is all about you as an agent. Avinash, just doing a time check. Can we cross 5 o'clock,
Yeah, ma'am.
or is it hot stop at 5?
It's not that you must completely finish it by 5. You can take your time, ma'am.
All right, yeah, because I still have few more slides to pass through. So yeah,
Yeah, okay, ma'am.
wanted to have a time check. Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Right. So the reinforcement learning is all about you consider yourself as an agent or a person who is being put into an island, right? You are put into an island. You are new to that environment. You are new to that surrounding. You don't know the people in the area. You don't know the language, and you don't know where you're going to stay. Correct. So that is typically reinforcement learning. So you need to enter and you need to provide you need to give something as an input to the algorithms and you need to get the outcome. You don't know what it is, right? So this is the typical examples of supervised, unsupervised, and the reinforcement learning. So to talk about the reinforcement learning, the advanced machine learning version is the reinforcement learning, such as it is being used in the self-driving cars and the AlphaGo game applications and things like that. So there is no real input for you in order to explore, right? So you go and learn, kind of you do a fail path, fast. You have to fail fast in order to identify what it is. So it is like a newborn baby having no information in the world. You have to go around the world. You have to explore. You need to identify things. You have to appreciate a thing, and you have to demerit a thing, and then finally you find a interest for yourself. So reinforcement learning is of that kind. So it also provides us. There are algorithms to do this activity on the reinforcement learning category, right? So the applications and algorithms for reinforcement learning, correct? After that, I'm going to jump into Q&A, Avinash, right? So the
Okay, ma'am.
supervised learning is predominantly used in risk evaluation, forecast sales, and unsupervised learning is used in recommendation of systems and anomaly of detections. And reinforcement learning is used in self-driving cars and in gaming applications and things like that. So there are algorithms which support these sort of machine learning. So you can look at the algorithms. These are predefined algorithms. So the programming language that we spoke about, those programming languages can use these algorithms in order to find the desired outcome. So there are linear regression, logistic regression, super vector mission, and n nearest neighbor, and random forecast, and so on and so forth. And similarly, on the unsupervised, there is k-mean and c-mean, which are famous. And Q-learning is something which is famous on the reinforcement learning, right? So before I jump on to the limitations, I'll just take a Q&A.
Yeah,
Avinash.
okay. Okay.
So, what are the uh, types of artificial intelligence? I'm not talking about machine learning. Artificial intelligence. We have passed few slides.
ANI, AGI, ASI.
That's right. Good. Right. So the next question is, what is the difference between supervised learning and unsupervised learning?
Supervised will know the data what we are giving. So unsupervised, we might not know what the data we are going to give.
That's good. So I think Avinash is going to grab all the certificates. Avinash, next time you can give chances for others.
Yeah, okay, ma'am. Yeah, okay.
All right. So the next is on the limitation front. So what is the limitation on the machine learning, right? The biggest limitation for machine learning is the image recognition, the high definition image recognitions like and then handwritings. These are the huge challenges for machine learning. right? So advantages of machine learning, we just spoke about all of this, which can be easily identify the trends, and there's no human intervention that is required, and it can continuously improve, and it can use multi-layer data, and it is widely used in many applications. Correct, but there are disadvantages as well. So the disadvantage one on the machine learning is it requires massive amount of data as an input in order to train the modules, right? And then it requires lot of time in order to deliver the accurate desired output, and also it requires additional computer resources. The next is although it does all of this, although it uses a lot of data, and it is taking more time, and it is taking more computer resources, but still we have to be very careful on what algorithm that we are choosing in order to deliver the desired output. In spite of doing all this, there can be errors in the suspected prediction or the outcome. So with this limitation, we are jumping into deep learning. What is deep learning, right? So deep learning is deep learning is capable of doing everything that a human can do, and predominantly the limitation that we had on machine learning will be compromised on the deep learning. For example, it can solve the high dimensional problems. Correct. So deep learning kind of uses neural network, in terms of natural language processing, and then there is something called RNN, and then there is something called CNN. So by looking at this particular picture, you can see that we as a human, by looking at the picture, we know that this is a woman, and in case if we know that particular person, we will say that she is what can I say, Amy, or she is Linda, or whatever it is, right? So, but if you want the machine to identify that, using deep learning, what we do is like we kind of put that into the neural network. What the neural network does is it divides this particular images into multiple grids. So each and every grid is being detected. Right? Say for example, on the layer 1, it is dividing the grids and identifying the edges of the image. And then in the layer 2, it is identifying each and every feature of the image. And in, finally, in the layer 3, what it does is it is kind of giving a frame for this particular picture. And finally, it will identify who that particular person is. So that is all about deep learning. So deep learning is kind of typically mimicking the human brain. Correct? Right. So as I said before, deep learning uses natural language processing, which is RNN and CNN. All right. So RNN is kind of using the algorithms in order to detect the words, the letters. It is predominantly used in the financial asset crisis, and also it's been used in sports in order to identify what the next action would be of a gamer in the soccer game, or in the football game, or in the tennis. And also it can detect the image, right? So it can also do language translation, right? So for example, you give a text called "I am a student," you can translate that into any language, correct? So that kind of algorithms are available in the deep learning, and in the NNN, what it does is like it kinds of, as I said before, it takes each and every neuron, it divides a particular text, and it puts it into each and every neuron, and each and every neuron is being converted into the desired outcome. Say for example, if your desired outcome is a French language, "I am a student" is being translated into the so-called French language what it is. And then the neural network can also do sentimental analysis. Say for example, overall I enjoyed the movie a lot. So when I say that overall I enjoyed the movie a lot, is it a negative statement or is it a positive statement? There is a sentiment attached to it, right? So the NLP or the NNN, the RNN can also identify the sentiment attached to the conversations that we do. Say for example, a few decades ago, if you say that the computer can do a language translation, or the computer can do an encounter, like give a counter comments to the conversations that we are giving, or the computer can do an image recognition, you might have thought that these are all science fiction, correct? But now all of this is feasible. Like translating the language is feasible, doing the sentimental analysis is feasible, doing an image recognition is feasible, and everything is feasible now with respect to the artificial intelligence. The next is CNN, which is the convolutional neural network. This what it does it, as I said earlier, it also kinds of splits the image into grid and then identify each and every image. Say for example, this particular picture that you see here, right? The number 2, that is, which is handwritten number 2, correct? Which is this particular box is like 28 into 28 pixels, correct? I'm sorry. So what it does is like 28 into 28 pixel is like 784 grids will be there. So in order to identify the 784 grids, what it does is it takes each and every grid and tries to identify what it is. Just like I showed in the previous image, each and every layer is start identifying the images. So what it does is like the area which is not handwritten, the overlying area, right, or the background, those grids will be marked as gray or white depending on the quality of the image. And then the handwritten number 2 will be marked as an active neuron. So at the end, what happens is you pick up all the active neurons and put up the desired outcome. It will be number 2. Correct? So that is how the convolutional neural network works. So what is the difference between the convolutional neural network and the RNN is typically RNN can go with the sequence of value. It can just go with the sequence. Say for example, you wanted to translate translate the text, it goes in a sequence. And then you wanted to read a text, it goes in a sequence, correct? But whereas the convolutional neural network, it can go into each and every grid and it can read the image, correct? So the last part is generating image description, which is also part of the deep learning. Without reading the image, we cannot really provide a lot of value to the business. So computer vision and the natural language processing is plays a major role. By now, when you look at this particular image, you can very well say that it is a marketplace wherein all the vegetables are being placed and people are coming and buying. So this, as a human, I can identify this. But for the machine to identify this, you need to put the particular machine in this data into the CNN network and the RNN network so that you get the desired outcome. So now you might wonder why am I giving such and such example of just reading the images and getting the outcome? Where is it going to be used in the business, right? So largely used is in chatbot, for example. The moment you log in into your Amazon, you go for a complaint or you go for a customer service, it brings you the image of the image of the order that you have made or placed it in the past, right? And then it will ask you which order do you want to speak about, and then you kind of respond to that particular text, and again there is a response from the agent as well. So you feel as if there is other person who is sitting and chatting with you, but it is actually not. It is chatbot, which kinds of reads the image, gets the data from the image, and then gives you the response just like a human gives you the response, right? So that is all about deep learning, which is using the natural language processing. And the natural language processing is of two kinds, which is RNN and then CNN. RNN is going in the sequence of value by reading the documents line by line, and CNN is going on the grid by reading the images on the pixel. Say for example, as I showed you, the 28 into 28 pixel is being divided into 784 grids, and each and every grid is being taken as a neuron, and then the active neurons are being picked up. So far we have seen the artificial intelligence, machine learning, and then deep learning, and there is something called data science as well. So this is the bigger picture of it. So it is a concept of artificial intelligence, and within the artificial intelligence, you have a subset of machine learning components which supports you with many algorithms, and then within the machine learning algorithms, you have deep learning, which provides an advanced version of the algorithms in order to do the classifications with a lesser data involved, but giving a desired outcome. But in order to do all of this, data is being required, which is the big data. So you need big data to provide you the data for the better algorithms of machine learning and deep learning. So you have data, you have algorithm, and then you have artificial intelligence, but you have to do data analytics, right? You have to analyze the data and predict the data. So that is all about data science, right? So this is the distribution of all the trending words or the buzzwords that you kind of see in the IT industries at this point in time. So I'm almost coming to a closure, Avinash. I'm just going to talk about the certifications that are available. So first and foremost, I would say,
Okay,
since you're all student level, rather than jumping directly into artificial intelligence or the machine learning or the deep learning or the data science, but the first suggestion would be do the Python. I know that Python is part of your academy as well. So having a better knowledge on Python, having a certification on Python would be definitely an add-on value for you. And once you are confident on the Python, then you can go for machine learning certification if you are interested. And then you can go for data analytics certification. And then finally, you can go for data science. But in the market, data science would say that you will do all of this. But when you do all of this, your focus will be lost. So go step by step. That would be the better way of doing it, right? So I'm done now, Vinash. It's open for Q&A.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for delivering wonderful content, ma'am.
No problem. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I mean, it's present, ma'am.
Yeah, ma'am. So we'll see if there are any questions in the chat box. So
Okay.
otherwise, in the YouTube comment section. So Venkatesh. Are there any questions? Yeah, okay. Ma'am, there's a question posted by Anand. He's saying that, can I ask you a question really fast?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Hi, Anand.
Yeah, Anand, you can unmute.
Hello, ma'am.
Unmute and ask your question.
Good evening, ma'am.
Hi, Anand. Good evening.
Hi, ma'am. So
Hi.
you talked about AI. So what is the future of AI? Like AI is in everything now. So it is a developing thing now. Like in every profession, we can see AI. So in future, it may overtake humans. Like in India is a developing country. So the economy here is so developing. Right? We depend on people. So we need labor work. We need human employment.
Okay.
Like a huge crisis.
I got your question. I don't want you to complete the question also. So you are kind of thinking about how the job opportunities will be for human when we come out of the college, when AI is going to replace human beings. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Exactly.
All right. Got it. So in order for the machine to do the automation, there is a lot of activity involved to make the machine to do that work, right? So we will do that activity.
Okay, but AI is something that it can do it on its own. See now.
No, it can't do it on own. You have to train the module. Say, for example, what example I can make? The chatbot, right, or the Alexa that you're currently using. In order to produce the product Alexa, how much of data was being involved, right? And when the data is not going to be static, the data is going to be dynamic. The data will change. So you have to keep training the module and you have to improvise the module. For that, a man is required or a human is required. So earlier, say for example, 17 years before, when I was doing the development, it was not an artificial intelligence, it was something else. But now it's all into the trending technologies. But the IT is still not gone. The IT is moved into the next level or the next phase, correct? So going forward, it will even move to the further advanced stage and it will not turn back. In order to do the further advancement, human is required.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Ma'am, and Srinidhi has asked a question, ma'am.
Yes, sure. Shini?
Srinidhi.
Yeah.
Yeah, she has
Srinidhi,
asked a
yes.
question. Is certification in Python helpful for job opportunities?
Definitely yes.
Yeah.
Python is the most wanted technology or the language at this point in time. We need Python.
And there's another question from Hari.
Yes,
So
Hari.
he has asked what happens when an AI program that can rewrite its own code diverges from the intention of its creator to achieve its goal.
That is a destructive technology, right? So yeah, it can destruct. It can be destructive as well. That is why we are saying that advanced version of AI will surpass the human intelligence. So at this point in time, we are all at stage 1, the narrow intelligence. We have not even moved into the strong AI of general intelligence. So moving to the advanced intelligence will definitely take a few more decades to go on, and we all will be part of it to develop the same.
Yeah. Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, for the answers. So is there any other questions? If there, you can post it in the comment box.
Rather than the comment box, I would like interaction if we have time.
Yeah, okay, you can unmute yourself and you can ask your questions.
And also, sorry for the interruption, ma'am, Revati ma'am. And I heard that you want to interact with the students by asking questions so that some appreciation would be given for them based on the answers
Yes,
given by them.
ma'am.
So it
Yes.
would be very good and valuable suggestion for all of us. So, and also we want to follow it for the forthcoming events too.
Okay. Thank you, Vijay.
So
Do you want me to ask more questions now to the students?
more and more, ma'am.
No, I want them to open up and speak with me rather than me
Definitely they'll
asking
be
questions.
answering. Definitely they'll be answering.
Okay.
So please go ahead, ma'am.
Okay. Can someone tell me what is CNN? CNN. Anyone? CNN? By the time people will do Googling, I know.
I know a news channel, CNN. Other than that, I don't know what CNN.
So just few minutes before I spoke about CNN, Avinash.
Yeah.
Convolutional neural network.
Convolutional neural network. Okay.
Convolutional neural network. Right. So fine. NLP, sorry, NLP. Anyone wants to take a action?
Neural language programming.
Natural language processing, NLP.
Okay.
Alright. Vijima, I think if I start putting questions, I will have to take my session again, Vijima. Alright.
But
Yeah.
definitely they'll be answering, ma'am. No issues.
Okay.
If you wish, you may ask. We have
Yeah,
enough time to spare with.
I've actually asked a lot of questions, and most of the questions are being asked by Avinash in between the session itself.
Okay.
Yeah. Avinash, you can give a cumulative of all the questions and the answers that is being posted and people who have answered it. So at the end, the person who has answered the most questions will get the certification, Avinash. So it's on you. You will have to calculate that.
Okay, that was totally four questions.
Right.
4 questions, and each one answered 2 questions, and I answered 2 questions. So that's
okay,
all.
Then I'll put more questions, right? So I'll probably ask 2 more questions so that you can make it will make your job easy, right?
Yeah, ma'am, it will make it easy.
Right. So I'm just looking at my notes in order to ask you a question.
Information is wealth, ma'am, and they'll be very curious for your questions, it seems.
Okay.
Because I could see more participants. Almost the floor is full.
Okay, that's good. Okay. Can anyone tell me how machine learning works? Just in 3 words, like what it does.
Gets the data. First we must. It sees the objective of the progress, what we have to do, then gets the data, process it,
Mm-hmm.
and then gathers the information, I guess,
Correct.
all the necessary answers, and gives the output.
That's right. So Avinash has taken the winning vote on that particular question. I'll move further. Can anyone tell me what is the difference between reinforcement learning and the other types of machine learning? Difference between reinforcement learning and the other type of machine learning. Probably I can probably put a picture on in case if you wanted to.
Yeah, it would be much easier.
I'll just put the picture on so that you can take a guess.
Yep.
Let me know if you're able to see my screen.
Yeah, man, it's visible.
Yeah. So looking at this picture, can you tell me what is the difference between supervised? I mean, I don't want difference between supervised and unsupervised. I want the difference on the reinforcement learning compared to the supervised and unsupervised learning.
Anyone?
Okay, I'll probably put this one. This is actually an open book test.
Yeah. Reward-based learning. Deepak J has answered reward-based learning.
It learns from
Right.
experience.
Correct. It learns from experience is the right word. But I'm not sure if
Santosh.
he did Google. But I'm not sure if Santosh did Google or he answered. But yes, the answer is right.
Yeah.
Right. And any other question that I can put in? Why is the need for artificial intelligence now? When the artificial intelligence is in existence, right from the classical ages, why is it taking traction now?
As we are moving to our future generations, AI is becoming, yeah. As we are becoming modern, so we are demanding AI, artificial intelligence,
Yeah.
to reduce
All
our.
Ma'am, we
that
need
is
less human. Excuse me, ma'am. Can I answer?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, ma'am. We need less human interference in our work, ma'am. So whenever we are doing a work, we need artificial intelligence in its own way. So it will be in more easier way from a robot or something which is non-human, which finds the way, which is very relatable for the machines or whatever. So the artificial intelligence helps us to find new ways of doing things. Even humans may not have idea what we should do with the machines or something. So when in the growing world we can use artificial intelligence to know more things which is already available on internet. So it will be very easy for them to relate and find out the solution for the something which is developing.
Yeah, partially right. But if you want me to correct you, then I will probably state that in place of automation, because it's not that a human cannot do that particular activity, but for a human to do that activity, it will take a lot of time and effort. Yeah,
yes, ma'am. Yeah, it takes a lot of time to get along with a lot of technicians. Like if we are doing something related to machine, we need almost a crew members of 25 to 30 people. A machine can do it with a one supercomputer or something like that, and it takes less time. It takes less time to do it. So that's what I meant.
Yeah, right.
So that is the reason we need artificial intelligence, and we find whatever we does, maybe it may lead to something which is a failure, but in most of the case, as I know, artificial intelligence gets the probability of success up to 90% or something. So it will be less, what to say. I don't get the term. Sorry, ma'am.
No problem. Your answer is right. I acknowledge your answer.
We will have less production, less budget for whatever work we are doing. So it will be easy for us. It is cost efficient, ma'am. So it is very easy.
That's right, Harish. Yeah. Having 200 employees doing particular activity for a number of days, a machine can do it in a minute.
Yes, ma'am. As now we are using calculator, that is also it is kind of we can't relate it with artificial intelligence, but a computer does the work what humans were doing a long time ago. So if artificial intelligence can match up or catch up with computers, maybe they may be more intelligent than humans or something like that. But it may also backfire, ma'am. There is also a problem like we may be controlled by artificial intelligence. Like there is a lot of examples for that. But yeah, if we keep it under control or something like that, it is very productive, and it is very good for economy also.
That's true. That's true. That's true, Harish. I totally acknowledge your answer.
Thank you, ma'am.
Fine, Avinash, that's all. I'm done with my Q&A. And if there are any questions from the students, we can probably take it. Yes, please. Yes, please.
Before that, Avinash, 1 minute. Mohan, 1 minute. Avinash, you please make a list of the students, those who have answered for ma'am's question.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, please proceed, Mohan.
Yeah, Python. I'm sorry, I forgot your name. Is it Venkatesh? Yes, Python is at this point in time. It is Python, Venkatesh. The other thing that is coming up is the R, but Python is the most efficient and widely used programming language for AI. Mm-hmm. Okay, they say, for example, I'm not sure if you know that we are in Industrial 4.0 at this point in time. There was Industrial Revolution 1.0, there was Industrial Revolution 2.0, there was Industrial Revolution 3.0. Now it is 4.0, correct? So, just to quote an example, I think 2.0 was more on the engine, the electrical engine and the steam engine and things like that. Do you think people would have thought that, oh, the steam engine is coming up, the electrical engine is coming up, the bullock cart will go away, the other mode of transportation that were available during that point in time, right? They would have thought that, oh, these things will go away if the steam engine will come into place, because the steam engine will take the people from one place of the country to the other place, or the one part of the city to the other city. The bullock carts will go away. But actually, it happened. What had happened was the bullock cart is being replaced by the bus, the car, and then the train. Correct? But it has given more value and convenience for us to travel number of kilometers in a day. But if you wanted to travel in bullock cart, it will take ages for you to come from Delhi to Chennai. But you take an airplane, you can commute in 2 hours, and you take a train, you can commute in a day, right? So in the same way, artificial intelligence is just going to give you more luxury, more convenience, and more advancement rather than taking human. Human is the center of the world. No, you will only see advancement. You are the person who is going to build the artificial intelligence application and the product. It is not going to build you, or it is not going to take over you. When I say artificial intelligence is going to take over the world, I mean that it will be there in each and every activity that you do. Actually, it is already there. I quoted n number of examples.
I have a question, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, I have a question.
Yes, Harish.
Ma'am, you said we will be creating, or we will be operating the artificial intelligence. But if we should know what is artificial intelligence, ma'am. Our syllabus and everything must have artificial intelligence as major subject or something. No? Why not, ma'am?
You need to have a base, because you are like an youngster just coming out of college, right? At this point in time, you need Python. I think Python is there in your academy, correct?
Yeah.
But this sort of artificial intelligence is kind of giving you an overview of how Python is going to be used in the world. Correct? It is giving you a concept of machine learning, deep learning, and everything. But Python is the core. If you learn Python, you can learn all these concepts. These are actually a concept, right? So at this point in time, as a fresher or as a junior or an youngster,
Ma'am, just now we have Python. Yes, ma'am. I mean next year. Yeah, ma'am. Sorry,
it is
ma'am. There is a
better.
network problem.
Yeah, no problem. It is better for you to learn the programming language rather than stepping one step ahead. But having one step ahead view, a broader view is important, but learning that is not required at this point in time. Learning a programming language is much more important.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Ma'am, there's another question asked by Banu Prakash.
Yes, Banu Prakash.
He has asked, as a computer science student, what are all the things to be learned for job orientation?
Okay, now that we are talking about artificial intelligence in this particular forum or in this topic, if you ask if you want to be a machine learning engineer or a deep learning engineer or a data scientist, Python is your base. Because now every artificial intelligence product are being developed in Python widely. But there are companies which is taking a wide step of using the other programming languages like R or Scala or anything of that sort. But Python is going to be the core. That's one thing. But if you ask me widely, leave apart Python, if I wanted to know other languages which will kind of give me more job opportunities, then I would say all the trending technologies like React.js, right? And JavaScript. And what else I can say? Big data is you have to split this components. You can go into data analytics side, or you can go into the data side of big data, or you can go into a cloud side of maintaining the network, or you can go into the programming language side. And when you go into the programming language side, it is again a different split, whether you want to be a front-end developer or you want to be a back-end developer. But if you want to be a front-end developer, you have to go into the JS. But you want to be a back-end developer, you can go into the other modes of language processing. So it depends on your interest. But again, your interest and what is your strength. If you're able to learn Python, go with Python. If you're able to learn Java, go with Java. Java is not yet dead. Java is still there and it is alive.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. And there's a question: AI will affect on privacy. Will AI affect our privacy?
Privacy is another big framework or the concept, right? So whatever product or anything that we build, we have to build enough privacy and security element on a particular product.
Yeah, okay.
It cannot be answered in a single statement saying that this particular product is using the privacy of the customer. I don't want to do that, but widely it can. But there are restrictions in place to implement this.
Okay, ma'am, there is another question by Banu Prakash. Which side is good, either development or technician?
What is the difference between development and technician?
Answer, Banu Prakash. You can unmute yourself and answer.
Development side means like C++ and all.
Development, I understand. What is your technician mean? What is your definition of technician?
Technician side means checking whether the app is good or not, like that, man.
Without learning the ABCD, you cannot write a statement.
What are basic things, man? Basic things to be learned first.
Basic is important, Banu Prakash. So your ABCD is your programming. In the early phase of your career, you should do programming if you want to excel in your life. If you wanted to be in the IT world and you wanted to excel, programming is the base. Without doing the programming, you cannot go into the management. You cannot become a consultant. You cannot become an architect. You cannot teach people or guide people what you want. ABCD is the best. The ABCD of IT is programming, be it any programming language.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Hope I answered your question.
Yeah. So Niranjan has asked which language is best to learn and get a job. Ma'am said it's Python.
Yeah. Yeah. If
So
it is artificial intelligence, it is Python, is what I said, and I've answered that question already.
yeah,
If it is front end, React.js, AngularJS, Node.js, all that JS is there. And if it is back end, you can have Java, mainframe. And if you wanted to go into the data side, you have big data, data analytics. And if you want to go into the networking side, there is cloud computing. Every element that I just spoke about have job opportunities. So what I would say that if you take up an interest, go deep into it. Do not let your learning not be wider. Let your learning be deeper. Go deep into it. Be an expert on particular area. Say for example, you take Python. Go into the advanced learning of Python rather than jumping from Python to React.js, from React.js to Node.js, from Node.js to some other JS, and then going to Java and then jumping onto the big data. That broader perspective is needed when you grow up the ladder, when you become a manager or when you become an architect or when you become an enterprise leader. But to do the work on the field, on the ground, you have to go deeper. Take one particular language and go deep into it. Hope I
okay,
answered.
ma'am. Yeah, ma'am, you answered those questions. So I hope everyone asked your questions. If you still have any questions, you can unmute yourself and ask. I think everyone has fulfilled with your answers, ma'am. Or fully filled with your answers.
All right, no problem.
So,
Fine then. Yeah.
okay, before finishing, I just want to thank you for this wonderful session. So, compared to the previous webinars, this webinar was really interactive. Many students have came out with many questions and have answered, and you gave some valuable advice and answer to those questions. So it was really nice and interesting, and many people would have known about, some of them would have not known what is AI, so not even the basics of it, but now would have got an idea of what is AI, so what to do in future, whether I can go into this line or that line, front and back end, or many questions that have been answered by you. And this was really great session. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity as well.
Yeah, ma'am. Thank you.
I would love to do such sessions. In case if you can contact me later, if I have time, I can jump into other topics as well.
Yeah, sure, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right. Thank you, Vijay ma'am. Thank you, Sudha ma'am. Thank you, Avinash, for coordinating
Yeah.
this event.
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
It is a flawless
Yes,
event.
thank you for your valuable time, ma'am.
No problem, Vijay ma'am. All right. If
Yes,
there is
yes.
nothing,
Thank you for
can
your
we
valuable
close the
session.
call? Yeah. Thank you.
Actually, as Avinash said, this was the most interactive session other than the previous sessions what we have conducted, really. Because I didn't expect this much question, because for the previous events and all, we didn't receive this much queries from the student side.
Okay. Okay. I'm a person,
I
as
think
I
it's
said.
because of Revati.
Yeah, that's me as a person. I want it to be interactive. I cannot do a monopoly. I said it in the beginning itself. Yeah.
Sorry,
Thank you.
my apologies, ma'am. Actually, I could not switch on the video because very poor data backup here
No
due
problem.
to rain. So if I switch on the video, means it drags a lot. That's why I could not switch on. So my
No problem,
apologies.
ma'am. No problem. I totally understand. We are all working from home. We didn't expect this pandemic to
Yes.
happen. Our home has become an office. I totally
Yes,
understand that. Yeah.
yes, and
Okay.
also multiple gadgets were switched on in and around.
Right.
That's why that was the
Right.
problem with me.
Yeah.
So
I totally
anyhow,
understand. I'm used to it, Vijay ma'am. Don't apologize. I understand it.
and actually, I have been benefited a lot. Other
Okay.
than students, I've been listening from the top to the bottom, and it was really a wonderful session by you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. All right, Avinash. Anything else before we close?
Oh, ma'am, I think it's completely, no one's going to ask any question, and it was awesome. Everybody's
All right.
thanking you for the sessions. All the students are thanking you, the chat box.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, students, for being interactive, and thank you for all the people, all the students who have answered to my question and who have raised the question as well. So that shows your value of this particular session and also your interest. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the opportunity once again.
Yeah, ma'am.
Thank you guys then.
Yeah, ma'am. So we'll see you later.
See you later. Yeah, speak to you
Yeah.
later.
Yeah,
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye. So guys, thank you so much for asking these questions. So you guys made this session more interactive. Thank you so much, Harish, Srinidhi, Satish. Sorry.
It's okay, Raghavechara. It's okay, it's not.